$80 billion of foreign cargo, the largest in the country.
Well, to discuss some more about what happened and what might happen next, I'm joined now by the chair of the A. James Clark School of Engineering at the University of Maryland, Dr. Ní Attoh-Okine. Thanks so much for joining us on BBC News. We've heard from the NTSB that the Francis Scott Key Bridge is a fracture-critical bridge, that it didn't have any redundancy built in. Can you explain just what that design, that structure means?
Well, in terms of the bridge, the structural integrity is very good. The structure itself doesn't have any issue. It follows the standard and all the specification. But the actual thing is the accident. The weight of the vessel is such that there's no way the bridge has a chance, And when such a vessel hits most bridges, there will be a destruction. So this is not really about the design. It's about the weight, the weight of the vessel, because the piers were not designed to be able to absorb such a weight or such a force coming from a vessel. Really, what we have to think of is the after effect of this accident. Like the mayor and then the National Safety Board said, there have been so many issues, again, with the transportation network because the bridge itself takes about 33,000 vehicles a day. One has to find a way where we have to reroute these vehicles. And this has been to be 2 tunnels. But at the same time, the tunnels cannot be used to transport hazardous material. So again, we have to reroute this. So there are multiple cascade issues which one has to take care of.
And on that, we heard from Senator Ben Cardin about how to route those hazardous materials now, not putting them through the tunnels. He's talking about a floating bridge as a temporary solution. Is that something that would be workable?
Well, it depends on, it depends on so many factors. But before the floating bridge, they have to transport some of these materials. So we have to find a way to reroute them. And we have to make sure that they don't pass through high neighborhood population. Since again, if there's an accident with these materials, they can cause more havoc. So there are so many multiple issues one has to resolve.
And just in the short term, in terms of what's going to happen now in Baltimore, the port, so crucial to that city, is out of action as long as that bridge is stretched across the way it is now, partially submerged. How long will it take to take it apart and remove it?
Well, I think the Army Corps of Engineers are working feverishly to make sure that they remove, they create a path so that ship can come in and go in, because the port is very critical to the U.S. Right now, it will affect the supply chain. The governor mentioned that we have the vehicles and more than 18 billion worth of export passing through the port. So we need to clean or make sure that the waterway is navigable by the ships so that we can do this. And I think this should happen as soon as possible.
How long do you think that would take, though?
Well, right now I'm not on the site, but I don't think the cleaning should take more than a couple of weeks because, 15,000 people work directly in the harbor and over another 90,000 are directly involved in the works related to harbor. So the earlier the governor or the earlier the state do it, this is going to be very important. So I think this should be more than a month, I would think, Okay. I don't have enough data to be precise about the date, but
sure,
this shouldn't take long. Yeah.
And it's still very early, of course. Looking then at a more longer-term replacement, what sort of timeline, briefly, would you estimate that might take to have a whole new bridge in place?
Well, this depends on so many factors. The president has promised that they are going to give the state money, and then constructing this new bridge, we have to look at the other infrastructure, the tunnels, the railway and everything, because right now we've seen that all the systems are they have interdependency, and then the cascade effects can even have more long-term effect on the economy and the people. So apart from constructing the new bridge, we have to the country will look at other infrastructure at the same time. Okay. And then we are going to learn from this that it will never happen in any other state or any other place in the US. We'll be prepared so that the whole system will be resilient.
Indeed. Thank you so much. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you so much, Dr. Ní Attoh-Okine from the University of Maryland. Thanks for joining us on BBC News.
Thank you for having me.